Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another gripping episode of Courtroom Chronicles. In today's episode, we witness a shocking turn of events as former President Donald Trump finds himself in the hot seat once again. Join us as we delve into the dramatic courtroom proceedings that unfold when the judge decides to take matters into their own hands. Let's get started. All rise. The Honorable Judge Thompson presiding. Judge Thompson, known for their no-nonsense approach to justice, commands respect and demands order in their courtroom. Today, they face the daunting task of presiding over a highly publicized case involving the former president. Donald Trump, the controversial figure who once held the highest office in the United States, is facing charges of inciting violence during a political rally. The prosecution alleges that his fiery rhetoric led to a violent outburst and subsequent injuries to several individuals. Your Honor, the evidence we have gathered clearly indicates that Mr. Trump's words directly incited violence and resulted in harm to innocent people. We request that the court hold him accountable for his actions. Mr. Trump, you have been given numerous opportunities to address the court and present your defense. However, I must warn you that any disruptive behavior will not be tolerated. This is a court of law, and order will be maintained. Your Honor, my client maintains his innocence and denies any responsibility for the events that transpired. We believe the prosecution's case lacks substantial evidence and is merely an attempt to undermine Mr. Trump's reputation. The jury, composed of 12 individuals from diverse backgrounds, will ultimately decide Mr. Trump's fate. Their task is to weigh the evidence presented and determine whether he is guilty or innocent. The prosecution presents a compelling case, highlighting Trump's inflammatory rhetoric and its direct correlation to the subsequent violence. Witnesses recount their experiences and testify to the impact his words had on the crowd. I was present at the rally, and I distinctly remember Mr. Trump's words. They were filled with anger and hostility. It was as if he was encouraging the crowd to resort to violence. Isn't it true that you have a personal bias against Mr. Trump? Your testimony seems to be driven by a political agenda rather than facts. I have no personal agenda. I am here to speak the truth and shed light on what I witnessed that day. As the trial progresses, tensions rise and emotions run high. Trump becomes increasingly agitated, visibly frustrated with the proceedings. This is a witch hunt, a disgraceful attempt to silence me and my supporters. Mr. Trump, I will not tolerate such outbursts in my courtroom. You will respect the proceedings, or I will take appropriate action. In a shocking turn of events, Trump's defiance reaches a tipping point, prompting Judge Thompson to take immediate action. Bailiff, please handcuff Mr. Trump and remove him from the courtroom. The courtroom is in disbelief as the former president is led out in handcuffs, a symbol of the judge's unwavering commitment to maintaining order and respect for the judicial process. Your Honor, this is an unprecedented action. We demand an explanation for this outrageous behavior. This court will not tolerate disruptive conduct or a lack of respect for its authority. Mr. Trump's repeated outbursts have hindered the proceedings and shown a blatant disregard for the dignity of this courtroom. With Trump removed from the courtroom, the trial resumes, albeit with a renewed sense of order and decorum. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we have presented undeniable evidence that Mr. Trump's words directly contributed to the violence that unfolded. We cannot allow such behavior to go unpunished. We must send a message that inciting violence will not be tolerated, regardless of one's position or influence. Members of the jury, the burden of proof lies with the prosecution, and they have failed to provide substantial evidence that Mr. Trump's words were the direct cause of the violence. This trial has been marred by bias and an attempt to tarnish my client's reputation. You must consider his constitutional right to free speech and give him the fair trial he deserves. After hours of deliberation, the jury reaches a verdict, and the tension in the courtroom reaches its peak. In the case of the People versus Donald J. Trump, we, the jury, find the defendant. Will the jury find Donald Trump guilty or innocent? What will be the consequences of his actions? Tune in next time for the thrilling conclusion of Judge Handcuffs Trump in courtroom after violent outburst. The courtroom buzzes with anticipation as the camera pans out, leaving viewers eagerly awaiting the next episode. Join us next time on Courtroom Chronicles to witness the final chapter of this gripping trial. Will justice be served? Find out soon.